Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're all keeping well. Welcome back to my channel. I'll today give a review for episode 4 of She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Uh, so far I'm enjoying the series. Really enjoyed this episode. This one was called Is This Not Real Magic? So uh, start off very well. We got introduced, obviously in the last episode ended with She-Hulk getting attacked by uh, a group of guys call themselves like the Wrecking Crew and had like Asgardian powered weapons. And then there was like a allude at the end where they said the boss isn't going to be happy. So we don't know who the boss. I feel that, as I said in my last review, I feel like it could be leading up to possibly the leader who's looking to uh, obtain her blood to create an army of, Hulks, which was similar to the 90s series, the animated series. But anyway, we'll start off this episode with a magician called Donny Blaze. I thought for the whole episode, I thought his name was Johnny Blaze, and I was watching. I was thinking, is this supposed to be Ghost Rider, like, or like a variant of the Ghost Rider? But then somebody called him Donny, so that was actually Donny Blaze. But yeah, he is a magician. He was like basically trying to do tricks on stage. There's very little people watching, and uh, basically he was trying trick after trick, and everybody was just sort of either looking at their phones or falling asleep. So his manager, I think it is manager or assistant, was standing off stage, and he was saying to him, you know, do the big act, do the big thing. So he took a device out of his pocket, which was similar to Doctor Strange and Wong's mystic device that they used to open their portals, and he asked for somebody from the audience to come up on stage, and this uh, this character, she was in it through the whole episode, but she was absolutely flipping hilarious. Her name's Madison, with two N's and a Y, but not where you think. She was absolutely drunk. Uh, Brother glass up on stage and was like staggering all over the stage. And just, uh, he was doing tricks with the device and everything. And, uh, she was just. He gave her flowers, like he had like this plastic flower and transformed it into a bunch of roses and gave it to her, and she's holding the roses going, these don't smell anything like roses, just so you know. And then he opened a portal. uh she looks through the portal, and it's just like, wow, that's cool. She's just completely leaving. And the next scene, we transport to Wong, who's watching The Sopranos on TV, and wherever he's staying. And a portal opens above him. She falls through, covered in blood and holding a beating heart, and he's trying to figure out what's going on with her. And she basically he's trying to ask her questions, and she still has the drink in her hand, but still has a beating heart in the other hand, and actually saying the thing, saying, my name's Madison, two N's and a Y, but not where you think. And you know, she turned around and said, "You're watching The Sopranos. This is the episode where such and such dies." He's like, you just spoiled that. He's like, I don't care. And she basically, and she tells him then that uh, what happened, and Wong basically says, Donnie Blaze going to pay for this, so he obviously knows the guy. So then we move on to Jennifer, uh, and her dad arrives at her place with a shovel and all these bag of traps, everything, saying that after the attack he's gonna uh, uh, beef up security and secure her house or her apartment and everything. She's saying like, "I'm Hulk. I can handle this all." He says, "What if those guys come back?" And she's like, "Well, I'll kick their ass. You can even hit somebody with a shovel." And he just laughs and walks out. So, uh, we move on to then Jennifer's office, and her friend is there. I forget her name, but they're talking, and Wong shows up and basically asks her for legal help regarding Donnie Blaze. And apparently, it's Wong says that Donnie used to be a student of the sorcerers who was kicked out of the group because of his erratic use of magic. So she says, "Fair enough. Like we'll go and visit Donnie, and we'll issue a cease and desist." Uh, so they're doing that, but in the meantime, uh, Jennifer's friend suggests her about, you know, setting up a dating app like Tinder or something. And she sets up one as herself, not just as Jennifer. Puts on her picture in her work uniform and everything, and then they go and speak to Donnie, and he's going back and forth. He's showing all these tricks he can do and saying, you can't legalize magic, you can't uh, put a claim on magic powers. So she basically says, right, we'll take this to court then. And Wong was going to send him to the mirror dimension, and Jennifer's like, no, that's not necessary. We'll see you in court. And they're heading out of the office then, and Jennifer checks her phone to see she's got no. She's got one or two matches from her dating app, and they're basically just, you know, she goes on a date with one guy, and he's looking all around him or checking out other women walking past, and then the waiter comes and sets the bill down on the table, and it's like a slow motion, each of them reaching for their bags, so you don't know who's going to pull out uh their wallet or their purse to pay for it. But he's reaching up his bag to lift out his keys, and she's just like, and he's like, so thanks for paying for this, we'll do it again sometime. So she gets back home again, and still no new updates on her phone. So her friend has suggested to her about setting up a dating app as She-Hulk, and as soon as she sets up a profile as that and takes loads of selfies as She-Hulk, she starts getting notification after notification of matches, and she goes on different dates. One is as a nice cameo from former wrestler David Otunga, and he's sitting there with a short t-shirt and the muscles saying, how much can you bench press and everything. He's sort of challenging her and saying, what's your best lift? And then another guy is talking to her, and you know, you think he's sort of interested in her, and he's basically just talking about, he mentions, you're a fine specimen, and she she cuts him off and says, "Did you refer to me as a specimen?" And he says, "Well, in a nice way, it'd be nice to sort of, you know, figure out what makes you tick." So that one's a bust. Uh, the next guy that she meets, the first thing he immediately says to her is, I'm not very keen on dating apps because, I don't really like talking about myself. You know, uh, why don't we talk about you? Tell me about yourself. I'd love to hear it. That's immediately Jennifer's just interested because it's like a sort of a cliche thing of uh, that thing, of instead of men talking about themselves, ask a woman, uh, about herself and let her tell a story while men listen. So she's telling him basically everything about her life, and then it goes back to her apartment, and he spills she spills or he spills a glass of wine on his shirt, and immediately takes his shirt off. It's a tank top on, uh, muscles showing and everything, and he says, don't worry, I've got some wine on your sofa. I'm immediately gonna go clean this up, and she's basically head over heels in love with him at this point. And as soon as he gets back, Wong shows up because Donnie. Yes, sorry, I completely skipped ahead. There was a court case, and uh, the judge saying, I'm not sure if we can, order a cease and desist on Magic, and ask Jennifer and Wong, do you have any witnesses? And basically, Jennifer gets Wong to open up a portal and bring Madison through, who's at another party, and she steps through and's drunk again, has another glass of alcohol, and she calls him Wongers. She steps through the portal and she's like, "Wongers, my buddy." And Wong just has his head in his hands. And Jennifer helps her up to uh, the the front to basically give evidence. And the guys, the security guys, puts his hand out for Joe to, do you swear to tell the truth? And the judge says, you can't have that alcohol in here. And she hands the alcohol to the bailiff and says, you can have it. I'm not sick or anything. And she just sits there and says, I promise I'll tell the truth this time. No, seriously, I will. And Jennifer basically then questions her and asks, about what Donnie Blaze did, and what was her feelings going through this trauma. And she's just sitting there and just like, first it was frightening, then exciting, then frightening, then totally exciting, and just Wong's just sitting there like, this isn't gonna work. Um. So basically, Jennifer says, "So uh, although these experiences were frightening, exciting, you were uh, transported, to another place without your consent. And so basically, then she sits back down. She sits in between Wong and Jennifer, instead of sitting back with the rest of the uh, public. And Donnie starts doing all these tricks because uh, Wong wants to say a few words. Says that the magic that he and the sorcerers use is uh, its understanding is beyond the realms of mere mortals, and this court house, and uh, in the wrong hands it could be catastrophic for all universes, all timelines. And Donnie basically stands up and says, uh, or sorry, Wong says, uh, that Donnie only uses the mystic magic because he is a fake. Uh, you know, his magic is not real, and Donnie basically stands up and starts doing tricks. He throws smoke bombs and changes his suit and makes a rabbit appear on the table, and the judge is like, as watching and saying "oh" at the thing. So basically, the judge does not uh, order a cease and desist, and says that her decision will be several weeks. So we're then we'll move on to another magic show, and Donnie opens up a portal, and a bird. Uh, there's another member of the audience is brought up, and she says, that after what happened to Madison, she doesn't want to go through any portals. So he makes a bird appear, and it flies into her arm, and then drops an egg, and the egg basically hatches into a demon. And then when Donnie tries to send the demon back through the portal, it climbs back through, and then there's hundreds come through the portal. So basically, he uh, opens up a portal to Wong and begs Wong for help, and he tells Donnie, contact Jennifer while I deal with it. So Wong's trying to battle the demons, and Donnie's trying to phone Jennifer, but because Jennifer's uh, back at her apartment with her date, her phone keeps buzzing, and she just basically keeps hanging up, or puts it on silent. And then Wong shows up through a portal, and shouts at her for not answering her phone, and says, "I need you to come help me." So she tells her date, "I'll be right back. Wait you here." And she goes through, and Wong says, like, "I feel like your father chaperoning." So Wong and Jennifer basically clear the room of all the demons, and Jennifer basically she brings one of the demons grows to a larger size, and Jennifer brings it over to Donnie and says, "Are you going to drop your claims and cease your malpractice, or will I just leave this demon here with you?" And he says, "Fair enough. We don't need any more of the court case. I'll stop using the magic." So Wong teleports Jennifer back then, and uh, that was the scene in, I think it was in one of the trailers, where she lifts her date up, um, and carries him then off to the bedroom. Uh, so the next morning, then Jennifer's making breakfast, but she's in her normal human form, and the guy is wondering, who are you? Where's She Hulk? And she's basically saying, it's me, just I'm in human form. I've made us breakfast, but he basically he's he's uneasy, and he says, I'll pass. I'm just gonna leave. Um, so that's basically that, and then there's a knock at the door, and she thinks it's him back again, but it's a lawyer for uh, Titania, who has been on the news saying that she wasn't jailed, that she was granted a, what's the term for that? Basically the term where if you break the law again, then you'll be sent to prison. But she's that, and her lawyer issues her papers saying that Titania is suing Jennifer because Titania has trademarked the name She Hulk. So it's basically um, Jennifer saying, "But I'm She Hulk," and he says, "Well, you didn't trademark the name." So that's how the episode ends, and Jennifer basically says, as before the episode ends, she says, "Well, that's a crap way for at the end, but maybe there'll be a nice little post credit scene." So basically, the post credit scene is Wong and Madison back at his place, watching The Sopranos and talking about all the different cocktails and drinks they have and haven't had, and he says that his best uh, drink was vodka mixed with yak's milk, and she's like, "Wow, do we have any of that here?" And he says, "Joe, there might be some. I'll go and check." But I think it's so. It was a great way, nice at the end of the episode. Madison, she was definitely the best part of the episode. Um, Definitely brought more comedy. It would be good to see her feature in more episodes. But yeah, that was basically it. Then we didn't get any more mention of the people that attacked Jennifer or who their boss is. So obviously it'll be kept secret for now. We still haven't seen Daredevil yet, but I think he might be showing up in the next episode. If I've seen a mention of there was a mention of either uh, Daredevil or Matt Murdock showing up in the court case. Maybe he is handling the case for Titania in the next episode. But like I said, I really enjoyed this episode. I liked the scenes with Wong and Madison, and even Donnie Blaze was fun. The way he was sort of always talking over Wong, and kept doing magic tricks every time Wong tried to talk down to him. And his assistant always repeated everything she said, because Jennifer even said when they were speaking, she said, "You are you a hype man for him or something?" Because he kept always repeating what Donnie said to Wong. So all in all, it was a interesting one. it's nice to see again. Uh, we are focusing on Jennifer, but there are some cameos, but it's not like the first episode where it was where the episode was split on Bruce and Jennifer. It's we're working on Jennifer and just bringing in the cameos now briefly in different spots. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the next episode. Is it just going to be a quick cameo from Daredevil, or will he be featured throughout the episode? But we haven't seen any more of Blonsky. There was just a quick mention of him when Jennifer and her friend were in the bar. She was signing off the final paperwork to close that case on Blonsky, so there's been no mention. Obviously, I think he's went to his retreat or wherever the residence was he mentioned in the previous episode, so there might not be any more mention of him until I think it's the Thunderbolts he features in. So, but yep. Anyway, that's been episode 4. Looking forward to the next episode. So far, there's nothing really for me to nitpick on. Not that I can think of. I mean, I would. If there's the slightest thing, I would have liked a bit more insight into who that gang is working for. Obviously, it feels like it could be. The reveal could be left to the final episode that might even then spawn into a second season, which can be a bit annoying at times because you want yes, they want to expand on a character throughout the season, but sometimes as well you want the next part of the plot to advance on. But so far, we'll see what happens with the next episode and where it goes from there. But anyway, like the video and drop a comment below what you thought of the episode if you watched it, and what you're expecting for the next episode. If you have watched the episode, are you enjoying the scenes with Wong reappearing and now Madison? And is there anything you feel is missing from the show? What would you like to see from the rest of the show going forward? And subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you for the next review. Take care. See you again.